On Easter Sunday in 1967, Jim Thompson left a holiday bungalow in Malaysia's Cameron Highlands for a short afternoon walk. He was 61, famous in Bangkok, and staying with friends at a house called Moonlight Bungalow. By dinner, the man known as the Thai Silk King had not come back. After one of the largest searches the region had seen, nobody could say where his walk ended. Before that afternoon, Thompson's life already sounded like it belonged to another story. He had trained as an architect, served with the Office of Strategic Services during the Second World War, and stayed in Thailand after the war. In Bangkok, he built a business around Thai silk and filled a traditional wooden house with art, visitors, and the work of local weavers. By March 1967, Thompson had been living in Thailand for more than 20 years. He traveled with Constance Mangska, a long-time acquaintance, toward Malaysia and the Cameron Highlands, a cool hill station above the heat of the lowlands. Their hosts were Dr. Ling Tngi and his wife Helen, who owned Moonlight Bungalow near Jalan Kemunting. The house was not on a busy town street. It sat up a narrow road, with jungle and estate roads nearby, and it was close enough to other bungalows and local paths that a guest could go out for a walk without needing a formal expedition. That ordinary detail became the center of every later question. Thompson did not vanish from an airport, a hotel lobby, or a city crowd. He walked out from a known house. On the morning of March 26, the group attended Easter service at All Souls Church. Reports described Thompson walking earlier that morning along Kemunting Road before rejoining the others for church. After the service, they returned to Moonlight Bungalow for lunch. Nothing in the confirmed record shows that anyone expected the day to become a search. After lunch, the others rested. Thompson went out again. Different reports place the exact time slightly differently, but the common account is that he left in the afternoon and was seen departing from the bungalow area. Helen Ling and Constance Mangska were later reported to have seen him leave, while Dr. Ling described hearing footsteps and assuming they were Thompson's. He did not take everything a man would usually carry for a long outing. Later accounts noted that personal items, including cigarettes and medication, were left behind. That did not prove where he went, or why he went there. It only made the first hours harder to understand, because the walk looked short before it became permanent. By evening, Thompson had still not returned to Moonlight Bungalow. His hosts became alarmed and notified police. At that point, the problem was still simple enough to name: a guest had gone walking and was overdue. But the people looking for him did not know which direction he had taken after leaving the bungalow road. The first search grew quickly. Malaysian police, field force personnel, soldiers, orang asli trackers, volunteers, and local residents became involved. Later summaries described hundreds of people searching the surrounding area. The searchers were not chasing a confirmed destination. They were trying to build a route from a man's last known point and the absence he left behind. Tracker dogs were also used. Contemporary reporting said police used tracker dogs, and later search analysis accounts focused on the importance of scent trails around Moonlight Bungalow. The dogs did not produce a confirmed path that led searchers straight to Thompson. The missing man remained connected to the bungalow, but not to a final direction. The terrain around the Cameron Highlands did not offer a simple grid. There were roads, slopes, plantations, narrow paths, and thick growth close to settled places. Searchers could move through a place and still fail to see what lay only a short distance away. Later researchers would return to that point, but in 1967 the immediate fact was sharper: every day passed without a trace. Newspapers followed the case because Thompson was not an anonymous traveler. He had built one of Thailand's most recognizable businesses, and his past in wartime intelligence made the disappearance easier to turn into rumor. Early theories ranged from accident to abduction to political motives. Police and officials still had no body, no note, and no confirmed witness placing him after the walk. The Thai Silk Company offered a reward for information. That moved the search beyond the hillside and into public attention. A reward can bring useful witnesses, but it can also bring people who are certain they saw something after hearing a famous name. The investigators still needed a sighting that could be tied to a place, a time, and an action. On April 4, the official search ended. Reports said hundreds of police and volunteers had failed to find clues. The end of an official search is not the same as an answer. It only means that the organized effort has reached the point where authorities stop sending people into the same uncertainty. Thompson was still missing. Afterward, searches and inquiries continued in less formal ways. People talked about ravines, animals, jungle paths, hidden tracks, and strangers. Some reports included mystics and claims that did not produce confirmed evidence. Those claims entered the legend of the case, but they did not give investigators a body, a route, or a reliable final sighting. One suggested explanation came from officials quoted at the time: Thompson might have fallen into an animal trap and been buried by local people after being found. The statement was reported as a likely explanation, not as a confirmed discovery. No trap, body, or burial site was produced to close the case. Other accounts leaned on Thompson's intelligence past. He had served in the OSS, and Southeast Asia in 1967 sat inside the politics of the Vietnam War and regional communism. But suspicion was not evidence. No ransom note appeared, no verified political message was released, and no official record proved that his afternoon walk was a mission. Then the case widened in a different direction. Thompson's Bangkok house, the one he built from old teak structures and filled with art, remained behind without him. 7 years later, he was declared legally dead. In 1975, his estate helped lead to the legal establishment of the James H. W. Thompson Foundation, preserving the house and collection. For decades, the case stayed where the search had left it: a famous man, a known bungalow, an afternoon walk, and no confirmed ending. Writers returned to the same road and the same questions. Some reported possible sightings, but none replaced the last reliable scene at Moonlight Bungalow with a stronger final record. In 2013, researcher Lou Tolman went back to the Cameron Highlands and interviewed people connected to the original search. His later search and rescue analysis estimated that the 1967 effort had involved about 1,448 person-days of searching. He also argued that the search area may have been too large and difficult for the original effort to clear with certainty. That later review did not claim to find Thompson. It challenged an older assumption, that because many people had searched, the nearby jungle had been ruled out. Tolman calculated that the probability of success may have been far lower than the scale of the search made it appear. The absence of a body no longer worked as proof that Thompson had left the area. In 2017, another turn reached the public. A documentary called Who Killed Jim Thompson claimed that Thompson had been killed by members of the Communist Party of Malaya. The filmmakers said their claim came through a deathbed confession story and a second source. The film did not produce a body, a weapon, or an official document. The claim received news coverage because it attached names and politics to an old blank space. But later criticism pointed out that the account relied on second-hand information and left basic facts unresolved. Even the documentary's producer acknowledged that more sources would be useful. The case had gained a new story, not a confirmed ending. Tolman later argued that the Communist Party claim increased the need to examine that possibility, but did not solve the disappearance. He still gave most weight to searching the jungle west of Moonlight Bungalow with modern methods, including human remains detection dogs. That recommendation returned the case to the same physical problem: a man had left a house, and the ground around it had never spoken. No confirmed remains, clothing, or personal item has been matched to Jim Thompson. No official account has replaced the afternoon walk with a proven abduction, accident, or killing. The last reliable point remains Moonlight Bungalow, where he left while others rested. What happened between that departure and the first failed search for him?